Hello, welcome back to Sorare Assist. Adam here, and today I'm going to be sharing my live lineups in Sorare football. I'm also going to be sharing my upcoming lineups as well for this weekend, of course, which will be game week 318. If you like this video, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're not signed up to Sorare yet, sign up using the link below where you get a free limited card and 13 common cards. Also check out my Patreon as well for regular scouting on there and SorareAssist.com. I've also done a book now on Sorare for the football, NBA and NBA. Links to all these are in the description if you do want to check those out. Okay guys, let's get stuck into today's content then. So as I say, today I'm going to be sharing my live teams and my upcoming teams for game week 318. But first, let's have a look at how I'm doing in the current game week. I will go over to the Sorare data website for this. Bit better in terms of the Sorare results. So here we are then on the results page for game week 317. As you can see, it's not going so well so far. As you can see with this message here, better luck next time. But there's still obviously a lot of games to play. I'm recording this on the Thursday, so there's obviously the Europa League games still to play tonight. So we'll have a look at my teams anyway. Let's see how we're getting on then. So as you can see, the All-Star team is looking pretty dead in the water. So Migne didn't manage to keep a clean sheet. In fact, he conceded 4 goals. Lex Sanchez didn't score, really do much in this game, unfortunately, in a 2-1 away loss to Frankfurt. Got these 3 players left to play though. I've also got captain Alberto to play. So these need to have a really storming game in these fixtures here. All pretty decent fixtures though, to be fair. So you never know, I might scrape a reward. I need 188 to get to a tier 3, 244 to get a tier 2. So we'll see what happens guys, but it's not looking good so far. All-Star Rare team. Now, Mario Rue had a fantastic game. He got an assist in this one. So he got me 96.9 with bonuses and a 3-0 win for them over Rangers. Lex Sanchez though unfortunately was in this game, and so was captain Furuhashi, who can't seem to find the back of the net at the minute, and it looks like he has been dropped by Celtic now, which is not good at all. So all I can hope from this one is that I reach the threshold. So I've got Lorenzo Pellegrini still to play though. They've got a fairly easy fixture I believe. And I've also got Mandanda as well for Rennes. Probably going to need to keep a clean sheet. And Pellegrini have a decent match. So that 250 points threshold, looking to have a chance. And I'm sure that I should definitely be able to reach the 205 point threshold. So it's not all that bad. But if these two can get some outstanding performances, I might even scrape a tier 3 if I'm very, very lucky. But at this stage, I'll be happy with the threshold points. Casual League then team, this is doing alright. So I've got Di Lorenzo's got an assist for Napoli, just like Mario Rue. So he's got a good score there. Doesn't look like Guedes scored in this game for Corinthians, which they lost 2-0. We've got these 3 left to play. Koko, Szymanski and Van Kronbruge. So you could potentially get a reward in this one. The Challenge Europe Limited. So Octavier's looking back to his best after his injury issues this season. He's got a 91 score and he also got 2 assists in this game as well in a 4-0 victory. I'm hoping David Roof will start for Ghent here. I think he should do. I know it's predicted that Nardi might start this one, but I think Roof will still be given his chance in Europe, even after his dismal display in the last game. We've also gone for Michele, who's already had his game. He got 38 unfortunately in that 4-0 loss to Porto. Got Combs though still to play, and also Karupas for Ghent. So I'm hoping these 3 start. If these can have a good game with Karupas as captain as well, then you never know, I might get amongst the prizes. Maybe a tier 2 though at best, I would say, is a realistic possibility. Champion Europe Limited then. So Quadrado was my captain. I think this is probably the worst captain score I've ever got. 6.4 with his captain bonus. So it does look like he considered a penalty, I think that is. Danilo was also as dreadful as Quadrado. Maybe not as bad. He had got a 39.5 score. So this is looking very bleak. And as you can see, I've not even got a goalkeeper that's going to start either. He was the only option that I actually had. Didn't have actually any starting goalkeepers for this team this game week. And I've got Savage and Immobile. Again, Immobile is not going to play this one, so this team was a bit of a waste of time anyway. So the Specialist Limited then, so 1 player has played, Lamala. Unfortunately, it was on the bench. Still got Romero and Nagdo to play though, and Hong as well, and also Groeneveld, who was one of the 40 or below players, as well as Lamela. These guys are probably going to really have to pull out the bag to get close to a decent price here, especially with Lamela only coming off the bench. Underdog Limited, Atati did pretty well with a 60. Sandro, unfortunately, though, only got 26.4. So he had a dreadful game for Juventus, but he did come off the bench, to be fair to him. I don't expect Pavon to play this one. I'm putting him as captain. Be surprised if he does start though. And Halslager is another one that's potentially injured. Underdog Rare, so Sandro's played, got 26.4. Captain Mkhitaryan made up for it a little bit though, with 72.6, 108 with the captain bonus. And I've also got Tata, who got an half decent score, 55, but I do need Philip Mwen to play this game. Now, if he gets a decent score, we're probably looking at best a tier 3, but realistically, I'm probably going to come away empty-handed in this competition. So let's have a look then at my lineups for the game week 318, which is the upcoming game week. I've got 15 teams entered in this, and I will go through them now. So All-Star Rare Pro, I've got Mandanda in goal, Santos in defence, I've got Pellegrini in midfield, and I've also got Aspas up front with Sobolos as my captain. I think they are playing the bottom side, I'm guessing the bottom, Torpedo Moscow. So Captain Sobolov is looking a good choice here. And this team is looking solid, probably my best team I've got in the rare category. All-Star Rare, so I've got Akinviv in goal. I'm hoping he can finally keep a clean sheet. Nagato in defence, I've got Alexander Arnold, who I was close to picking as my captain, but I've actually gone for Remy Cabella. He's been on fantastic form for Lille, seems to be back from injury now as well. And Alexis Sanchez, I'm hoping he can get a goal. He is probably due one. So this team's looking pretty decent, more than confident of getting the threshold. All-Star Limited, I've gone for a Philadelphia stack in defence with Blake and Elliott. Got Octavio in midfield, and up front I've gone for Captain Vela. Of course, we've got the MLF's, I think it's the final, isn't it? And then we've got Duffalo as well up front for Udinese. He's been absolutely fantastic. I think he's a really undervalued card. Champion Europe Limited, I've gone for Ramiro in goal. I've got Danilo and Cuadrado in the team, hoping they can make up for the midweek shocker. I've gone for Captain Cuadrado. They have got a decent fixture coming up as well. I've still got faith in these two guys of getting some decent scores. I've got Milinkovic-Savic in midfield for Lazio, and I've also got Aspas as well for Celta Vigo. So this team is looking not too bad, but I'm not sure it's going to do that great up against the Bayerns and Barcelona's etc. in the Champion Europe division, but we'll see how we get on. Challenge Europe team's looking pretty solid here. I've got Mignolet in goal with Michele as a defender, so I've got a bit of a stack there for Club Brugge, hoping they keep a clean sheet. I've also got Santos in there as well, who's a defender, but of course he scores like a midfielder or forward most weeks. I've got Wendell as well and Malcolm as my captain, so this is my Zenit stack here. I think these are probably the 3 best players in the Zenit team, and I'm hoping that this week they can do the business. Last week I had these 3 players in a team with Cecina, who didn't actually play, wasn't even in the squad, so that was a total disaster and a total waste of these 3 players in the last game week, who all got fantastic scores. So let's hope this team can do the business this week and get some use out of these very, very valuable cards. Second Division Europe then, I've not been having too much luck in this division so far, so I'm hoping this week is going to be different. I've got Martinez in goal, who now plays for Genoa. I've got Carlos Aguirdos, who I signed very early on when the second division was introduced from Sporting Gijon. He's been fantastic for them, scoring some really good scores. I've also got Gudmundsson as well for Genoa. Tempted to put him as my captain. They are at home this week and have a favourable fixture. But I've gone for Di Tashio, who was a recent signing for me. Quite a cheap price as well considering his output. I saw his talent early on and I have put him as my captain. And then I've also got Otero, who also plays for Sporting Gijon, the same team as course of Asquedos. So I'm hoping for some good results this week. Not had any luck so far in the second division Europe. So, Champion Asia Limited team. I've got a couple of signings here that I'm going to be able to use for the first time. I did buy them with next season in mind, with the Asia market prices coming down. So I've got Tani in goal, who I already had. Was going to put him into an under-23 side, but I didn't have an under-23 midfielder this week, so I wasn't able to compile a lineup. So I've put Tani in the Asia team. I've got a Raki in there in defence. He was one of the new signings I was talking about. I've also got Eduardo, also a pretty new signing. I did have him before, but I've decided to pick him up again. Now he is getting some more regular minutes. Fantastic card and a fantastic player. We've got Nosuda and Mitsuta making up the rest of the team as well. These are two other new signings that I've made at quite a decent price, because as I say, the prices have now dropped. I've also gone for Captain Mitsuda as well. As you can see, I've got a Sonfresh Hiroshima stack there. And I think these guys as well have also got a good chance of qualifying for the Asia Champions League next season. That was another bonus for picking these guys up. So this team's looking pretty solid on paper to me. Hopefully they'll all start and all have a cracking game. My common all-star team's looking good actually, because I've got Gimich as my captain. It was a reward that I won a few weeks ago. I think this is probably the only version of the Gimich I'm ever going to have in my collection. I've got Duffalo up front, I've got Tom Hay in midfield, and I've also got Mignolet in goal and Di Lorenzo in defence. So I think this team's looking pretty solid on paper. Underdog Limited. Now I have made a few signings for this team. Romalo was a previous signing that I made for the Underdog division, but he has come back into contention again. He was on the for sale list, but I've decided to take him off there, put him into the team here, because he is expected to start for PSV, and he's under that 50 or below in his last 15 scores. I've picked up Michele for Lask. He's got him as my captain as well. They've got a really good fixture at home. It does look like he is capable of getting some decent scores. I think he was only around £8 as well. Looked a real bargain for me. I've also picked up Yamamoto for around £6. Looks like they've got a good fixture as well, so I've put him straight into the team. Another player that I've picked up is Willian as well, who now plays for Fulham in the Premiership, and he's really starting to find his feet at Fulham, and they have got a pretty decent fixture this game week as well, so I've picked him up for around £6. I think this team's looking really good on paper, and hopefully they can do the business. Specialist Limited, again a couple of new signings in this team as well. So I've got Langnarak in goal, I've got Nagdo in defence, I've got new signing, Bitakik, don't know how to pronounce that, he's in the midfield. It looks like he's got a good fixture at home, and he's also got some previous good scores as well, so I think he was looking a really good option to pick up. Can't remember how much he was, I think he was very cheap though, probably about £5, something like that. Another player that I picked up with Kobayashi for Kawasaki Frontale. It was only about £5 as well. He is 35, but I think if he scores in this game, he'll probably sell straight away. So I'll likely sell these players as soon as I'll list them as soon as the deadline has passed. But I think he's probably going to start this one, because I don't think Demau is yet fit for Kawasaki Frontale. I think he's coming back into contention, but I think it's a little bit too early for him to start this one. And I expect Kobayashi to actually be the forward for Kawasaki Frontale in a very important match. And then I've gone for Hong as well, who of course now plays for Ghent. So hopefully this team can get me a good result. As we know, I did previously win I think it was a star rare in the Specialist Limited division. So hopefully I can repeat that. So Specialist Rare, then I've got Gilheim in goal, who seems to have got his place back in that side. I've got Navas for Seville. He's playing a more forward position now, so I'm hoping he can improve on his scores. I've got Leo Dubius in there. He should step in for one of the players who was suspended for Galatasaray. I've got Yamaguchi, who've got a pretty hard fixture, but Yamaguchi is still capable of scoring well. And Atate is expected to start for Celtic. Obviously, as we know, they are dominant in most games. So again, this team is looking pretty good for a specialist team. I've also managed to put together an underdog rare team as well this week. Although there's a couple of uncertainties, one of them being Fukumori. He's not sure whether he's going to start this one or not. For me, he should be starting every game. I'm a big fan. Brulls I've also got there as well for St. Trudense. I've got Sammy, who was another new signing for next season in mind, but he's can come into this game straight away for Gamba Osaka. He has come back from injury recently. He is predicted to start this one as well for Gamba Osaka, so hopefully he can bag a goal. And I've also gone for Seni, who was also a slight risk if he's going to start or not. He has just come back from injury and he is predicted to start this one, so I've gone for him as captain because I do have a very favourable fixture. I do need to play as well to have any chance of this team doing well. So hopefully we can get a good result. Challenger Europe rare team, so I've got Silerson and Marquez in defence and goal. They're going to make up a Neck and a Manjin defensive stack there. Got a Blyakov for CSK Moscow, is expected to start this one. Got Shkovs as well for Mechelen. He's capable of some good scores. They've not got the easiest fixture, but it's the only option I had left for this rare team. And I've also gone for Furuhashi as captain for Celtic. Now I do expect him to start on the bench, but if he just comes on, gets a goal, then that's going to get me a good score. I've put him as captain because I do need him to get that goal to have any chance of this team doing anything in this game week. He has got a big XP as well for me because he's one of the first cards I actually bought in 2020 when I joined the platform. Back then, of course, he was playing for Vissel Kobe. So this team, to me, has probably not got the best chance, but you never know. Underdog 45, a couple of players here that I've had listed, but they've got another chance here with their eligibility for the under 45 underdog division. So it was Figueiredo and Hatate who was listed, but I've took them off the transfer list now, put them straight into this team. They have both got decent fixtures, both expect to start as well, so I'm hoping they can get some decent scores. I've also got Per Giampolo as my captain. They have got a home fixture, Vincenza, pretty decent fixture as well, so I'm hoping he can get back on the score sheet. He's not scored in the last few, he is certainly capable though. And I've also got new signing, Pikachu. Now it's not a guy from Pokemon, he's a real player, but he has got previous good scores. I've put him in there, new signing, I think he was only about £4 or £5, so I've put him in. Like I say, it's another one where as soon as the deadline locks, I will put him on the list, as well as these two players as well. So we'll see how this team gets on. I've also put a team in the Mystery Kit Challenge as well. I've got Nadi in goal, Munez in defence for Genk. Comes as my captain, Drussi up front, and also Plea up front for Mönchengladbach. So this team is looking actually really solid, some stars in there, but not all of them have got the favourable fixture. These two have probably got the hardest fixtures, Mönchengladbach and Drussi, but I think Drussi is probably still capable of getting an assist or a goal. They're of course playing Los Angeles, and as we know in the MLS, there's usually plenty of goals there. And Plea is more than capable of getting an assist or goal if Mönchengladbach managed to score any in an away game against Union Berlin. Comes has got a decent fixture though really for Ghent, as well as Nadi of course, so he's my captain. And Genk have got a good fixture as well, so Munoz slots well there into defence. So we'll see how we get on in this one. I think in this one you're allowed to use legend players. Oh no, yeah, two legends. So as we know, they're going to be scoring the highest of whatever team they play for when they was playing. So they're going to be getting some potentially good scores, high scores I would have thought. But you never know. I thought I'd put these players in anyway. There was sort of surplus cards that I had. Sounds daft to say when you've got people like Drussi and Plea in there, but these were the ones with the more not so favourable fixtures. So that was all the teams. Managed to get through that in the end. So there's quite a lot of teams there. 15, which is probably a little less than I usually have. I usually have around 18, 19. I think it's the underdog and the America division, of course, that I've not been able to put a team in. And also the Asia Rare team, I've not been able to put a team in that. Because as we know, the South Korean League is now finished. And that's where my goalkeepers play at the moment. Okay guys, so that was all the lineups and my live results for the current game week. Hope you are doing well in the current game week and good luck in the upcoming game week. If you like this video, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're not signed up to Sorare yet, sign up using the link below where you get 13 common cards and a free limited card. As I say now, I've written a few cards on Sorare Football, NBA and MLB. These are all separate editions. You can find these in the links in the description below. There's a physical version on Amazon and also an ebook version as well of all these books. So do check them out today, or let anybody know who's thinking of joining Sorare. Let them know about these cards so they can maybe read up on the fantastic fantasy sports game that we all know and love. Okay guys, thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you again soon.